Hello, I'm Kate, Prophet with the Planets. I am going to do a really short market video. It's actually going to be normal markets. I'm going to put a little bit of crypto into it. People just want time, dates. I get that. I'm a teacher. I can get a little descriptive. It's very hard to do real astrology in one-liners. To do it properly, I'm sure we can come out and know there's a date of something, but to really do it with a bit of explanation behind it is not an easy task to do really brief and quickly. So I'm going to do my best here just to kind of do a bit of time. Usually I don't put time out. It's not the way I do things, but I've been through crashes. They're really awful, and I know people are in this sort of situation. So I will touch on markets a little bit as well. So where we're at, hotbed of mess. The biggest crash signature that we can have, that sort of 1929, 1979, with the eclipses, the Saturn Pluto, Jupiter going to Aries, Mercury retrograde. There's lots going on, and it's even a little deeper than I knew it was going to be bad, but it's even probably a little deeper than I expected here. But the charts aren't healthy. And the biggest thing we're at now, I'm just going to say this again, Jupiter in Aries. Get real. It is the Pisces energy is like gambling, fun, just kind of, it's also like we're not in a reality check. And then you move to Aries. Aries is kind of like the fighter, Muhammad Ali, you know, that kind of stuff. And so it's like someone slapping you on the face and going, get real, snap out of it. And it's actual research has said it's a what was I thinking thing in the markets where people sell and change their mind because they get a reality check. The last time this happened was 2010, 2011, post-dot-com bubble, and Jupiter went to Aries from the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. We are repeating history again. Back then we did have Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So it's a little different now, but we have set up with the same thing, and the same thing has happened. Now naturally there's the war, other things, but history is our best teacher. And it did tell us there was some caution to be taken, particularly that early stage when we changed the energy, okay? Now Jupiter is going to move again into Pisces and out. I doubt we're going to see that same, we'll probably see it around what we call the degrees, but this really intense, you know, I think you can feel that people are kind of really rethinking the whole crypto thing. Now that is synonymous with the tech bubble, of the dot-com bubble. People rethought that strategy. So it was expected. Do I love the whole Jupiter and Aries? No, I think we'll get a bit of welcome, sort of relief of energy. Absolutely. Do you think rock, paper, scissors with this stuff in the beginning, like fire and water don't mix, like fire puts out water, you know, that kind of thing? It's really the easiest way to start into this. So that is really where we are now. And I know everyone wants to go what's ahead. So let's take a look. We do have the eclipse on the 16th. There is that sort of little Jupiter square Pluto Bitcoin. Technically we need to get through it, but there's no rule to say it has to be then. You know, the effects can come a week early, and this did time a week early to that eclipse. So I'm going to caveat emptor. There's no rules to say we have to go into that. It would be the safest thing to do. No financial advice provided here. This is purely astrology and what astrology has told us in history about the market. So, you know, you get some levels, you get oversold. Astrology is the 1%, the charts are the 99, the 99%. But, you know, the astrology has brought in nothing except astrology would have been able to tell you all this stuff. So I think congratulations to anyone that saved someone a little bit of, you know, or any astrologers that predicted this. Amazing, whoever you are, that's fantastic. That's the teacher in me. Anyway, where we are at. I'll just point out quickly too, 29 degrees is, I read the other night, critical degree of the stock market, and that has added into our hotbed of mess. Now, 0 Aries point on charts are super, super important, so we're there now. And look, that will lift out actually. You're going to get Jupiter lifting out there around the 17th. Now, on the 17th, I start coming into some astrology I've been looking at for ages, and it's actually probably closer to the 19th I really like. There is that little Jupiter square Pluto, so that may push along for Bitcoin, but I believe we can lift out of the markets, and probably very strongly here. I want to just say it's Mercury retrograde. Things go wrong, plans fall apart. There is another caveat emptor for an astrologer to make a prediction in Mercury retrograde is not easy because the best laid plans fall south. But all we can do is look what's here. Super strong, a double Jupiter Pluto aspect with the sun, that's about as good as it gets. So this is the best chance. We have moved out into this off that what we call the zero Aries point. So I think that's what everyone wants to know, you know. When will it get better? Well, hopefully here. That's kind of what, there is no financial advice provided. That's just, we all have to make a plan with astrology. That's what it's for, and that is what we will do. We're super oversold on the charts. I'll just quickly bring my chart up here. I'm going to make sure I took normal markets here. I've done lots of Bitcoin, but this is all the condensed. Look, I do use charts. There's a bit of a no-brainer. We'll probably sort of test around here at some point. I call 200-day God. We've all got to talk to God at some point, but I don't think that's going to happen now. But this video is about the astrology, and I think we can get there, and that's what we do. We take the chart, go, okay, that looks like where we're going, just from, you know, I guess a bit of experience. But is there astrology to fit that? If we saw something like a bull flag pattern here, I doubt that's happening, but God help us if it did, what would be the astrology to do that? And that's actually how we can use it. Which way do I think? And we're the only ones that can see the pattern before it actually forms. So that's a really good way to use it. But I do think we are going to come here, and to be honest, we've got to just do it anyway. Let's get it over and done with. Until this technically corrects, there's a lot of risk, and we use astrology with risk reward. So let's have a look at, really briefly, as brief as I can, some of the astrology that may get us there. Okay. I've got some other kind of good news post this little bit. We are going to get into some sort of slightly stronger stuff. I think it will help a lot. I'm just going to point out there is a little Mars conjunct Jupiter here on 29th of May. Now, I think that there is, and I know that doesn't help, there is an either side, and I believe that the Dow chart, the DJI, has its Mars at about 3 degrees of Aries. So that would be a double Jupiter-Mars conjunction. Now, again, with that other astrology, that can bring a lift. You can fall away shortly after. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in there. But what's going to happen as well, Venus moves to Taurus. That is fantastic for markets. Venus in Taurus, my notes from 10 years, strong like bull. It really likes it. So this has to hold up because this can get a little bit intense. It's a bit too much energy. Mars rules, you know, the god of war is Mars, and Jupiter expands what it touches. We just have to kind of watch out a little bit for any of these Russia-Ukraine themes, okay? We also have a planet moving to the degree of the eclipse in November, so I also want to caveat emptor, it could set off some themes related to that eclipse, and that I'll get there later, and that's not specifically just war. It's sort of not all eclipses are bad. Please don't start thinking that. The eclipses of 2020 were super bullish on the markets, okay? That went into that 2021. It's just the way we are now in this money series. The money we get and what we do to get it in the Scorpios, maybe not the greatest, nicest ways. And even all the crypto crash, you know, it is a little bit falling in that theme because there is a little bit of stuff behind crypto, which is not pleasant. Even the hedge funds, I think it's something to do with that lunar thing. So, you know, that is that super Scorpio kind of energy, all right? So, if we can get through this sort of potential, everything is just potential, it doesn't say it's going to happen, okay? There is a little Pluto square Venus here on the 27th too, so just watch anything regulatory to do with, I don't know, it could be regulatory currencies. Hopefully it's okay and we lift out of it, all right? Then you get Venus coming into Taurus, strong like bull. Let's hope for the best. There could be a massive bounce too that comes out through this. And to be honest, I think where you want to lie, whether it be markets or crypto, there is statistical study on this. Venus conjunct Uranus, massive market signature, okay? It's, you know, the conjunctions are wild cards, but generally, and they're really strong. So this could really pull the market up here. This is mid-June. And look at, you know, Uranus was crypto, Venus. I have seen it not work in the other, what we call translations, but maybe this is a Wishka kind of crypto. I can't say, you know, because I don't have enough stats, and I actually haven't said, any crypto people need to sit down and really check this Venus Uranus. But this is my best case scenario here. As long as these hold caveat emptor. And this is also the degree of the eclipse in November, this conjunction. So I believe something about this mid-June is probably super poignant, okay? I'm just checking as well make sure I don't miss anything, because I don't really like to I don't really do the whole thing where I put dates out and stuff. Whoa, that always happens. So I really will like to hope in here, and then Venus leaves that about the 23rd of June. Gan turn date, we know that, so there's that sort of 21st of June time frame, okay? I do think it's a make hay while the sun shines, no financial advice, but I want to talk about the last quarter. I don't like it. I would, you know, if you get a really good, no financial advice, but if you got a good out on some stuff, probably would be taking it around here. Look, July could actually be okay too, all right? Just quickly want to fling through. Okay, you are going to get here, right, into July, Pluto opposite the sun, so it's very possible you get a market dip. And then we're coming into this Uranus square Venus, okay? We're out of this Venus in Taurus kind of signature. And that could even sort of bring back the markets from here. So, you know, the sort of May, June, you know, and I'm not saying it doesn't go past there, but we start coming into some quite negative astrology, okay? And we're going to have Mars conjunct Uranus here. Now, that could be a little intense. Again, we bring in that sort of war energy. I'm not saying it happens, but watch the Ukraine news. You know, you use astrology to look for all the negatives that could come. So, you know, we do maybe flag a little bit of caution there. And right as that's coming, and I'm probably missing some stuff. We have a little sort of, I don't want to get too detailed, but we do have to point out that we are coming into another Saturn square Uranus. That is the last 2 years, it's been a massive market crash. It doesn't mean it's going to come the same strength every time, but that was where the sort of whole tech wreck started. Okay, and that's going to come in around, look, it's weird because we do have one good market signature and one really negative. That's around 15th of September, okay, and I swear I've missed something on the way. Oh, yeah. We also have to watch for some of the eclipses from 2021 can actually show up around this end of September as well, and I actually think they really might around this Jupiter Saturn square Uranus. So I'm really flagging the end of September. Now, the end of September, what it does, we are really well out of all that sort of Venus in Taurus, stuff like that. And so this is really about September, October, November, this video. Because what happens, we come into our eclipse windows, okay? There's an eclipse, I'm going to make this really brief. There is an eclipse here, 2 degrees. It could be, it's a bit mixed, you know. It will flag a couple of charts, and you're going to have Jupiter back at 0 Aries, the 0 Aries point. The USA chart is actually the one that sticks out to me here. We are going to pick these eclipses up from both November 2020 and 2021. Now, the US dollar smashed into here, so I am a bit of a US dollar bull, bought it pretty aggressively when everyone said it's going to 0 instead of buying crypto. That's what I bought. So I'm kind of starting to watch that. But the USA chart has a progressed, what we do is we progress charts that are really old. It's like in time, but not to get technical, 2 degrees Saturn here, and that's the degree of the eclipse. You may see something to do with Biden here. I'm putting it out there. I don't know. I haven't spent a lot of time on it, but that is your solar eclipse there, okay? It's probably likely to hit, and the USA is also the US dollar as well, okay? So that is right on, and it's opposite Venus. That's again maybe that Biden come up. Look, I don't know. I really haven't researched enough. But basically what that means is we are sort of in this window, and things like Arc have a 2 degree Scorpio sun, you know, so that's going to go either way. Just putting it out there. I would probably see some news to do with Arc around there. Could be positive or negative. Haven't really have to see the balance sheets and stuff before. That's just one little random thing. No financial advice provided. So coming into that late September, there's a fair bit going on, okay? And I would actually be prepped from early September. It's not a matter of just going, oh, it's the eclipse, bang, it'll happen. Not how it works. Things can set off the eclipse. We have Uranus semi-squared Jupiter. We do have Uranus trine the sun, but, you know, this is sort of Uranus semi-squared Jupiter, Saturn semi-squared Jupiter, Saturn square Uranus coming. So even mid-September. And we can pick up that eclipse a month early, okay? So we have to be pretty prepped through the whole of September. Actually, that's 25 October. Then what happens? We've got another one. This one looks a bit, ugh. It is conjunct Uranus. Uranus rules crypto. we are picking up the eclipses, okay, as I mentioned before, from 2021. So we look to the themes. They can be usually country related. I would start looking at crypto regulation themes again there. Anything to do with all that China, that's when Elon Musk, actually really weirdly the story's connected, I don't know how, but, or maybe not, but there's indirect connections, and I would maybe look to crypto regulation. This Saturn eclipse is, this eclipse is square Saturn. It's ugly. If this looks intense, it just is, because there's a lot of astrology going on. Saturn square Sun, Saturn square eclipse, Saturn square Venus, Saturn square Mercury, and even that in itself could be, Saturn square Venus could be a little crypto regular. I don't know, I'm just saying that's one. I'm not saying it will happen. Uranus opposite Sun, Uranus opposite Venus, same deal. That's another one of these Venus Uranus translations, but now in a negative. So we are really flagging into this sort of September, October, November timeframe. Critical degree, Jupiter at 29 degrees Pisces, the critical degree of the market. And around here we are picking up some of the other eclipses as well. Now, what's also really important, we've got to look at Pluto here. Around into October, November, we say that they are retrograde. Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter should be retrograde. Yep, and even Uranus. I've seen the markets not crash into this. They are big planets. They do all the damage. They're asleep. So I'm not saying we full scale crash. There may be stories come out. I can't say how the markets react. But what happens, and I've gone through a lot of my old work that I've been keeping for many, many years. In October, Pluto is going to what we call go from going backwards to forwards. That's just the easiest way, retrograde to the station. There is a stat that says the Dow has crashed. This is old stuff, you know, coming through the archives. There was a 70% of the time markets can crash when Pluto stations and goes direct for about 4 weeks. So that comes into our eclipses. So we've got enough to work with there to think, okay, that could be problematic. Again, we are setting off those old eclipses around here, okay? So just basic stuff. There's a window where we act with some caution, okay? We are gonna Pluto square Sun here as well, 19th of October, Saturn square Uranus. So this October looks a mess, and I'd pull it out September, October, November, just to be safe, okay? I will just quickly mention, and I mentioned in my Bitcoin videos, this is going to pick up a lot of crypto charts, and not in a good way. I'm going to straight up. Tethers, sailors, MicroStrategies. I'm not saying it happens, but we are critical degree. It is conjunct Uranus. Maybe that eclipse is kicking off here for some way. I don't think I've picked anything up, but it's very possible. Yes, any minute. So it's possible the Uranus here moving to 16 degrees. I think we're out of it though there. Maybe it's a degree, it's picking that up now. Look, I think we know what's going on now. So that's kind of just what you want to do. December, Mercury retrograde. I do just want to make a point of Mercury retrograde. Bear with me. Right, sorry, excuse my croaky voice too. It's been very busy with clients the last few days. If you want to get into astrology and the markets, start here. This is your starting point. We do not buy things in Mercury retrograde. It's a little hard right now because the prices are certainly coming. We just try not to. It started on 26th of April. If we go to the markets, you are looking at this sort of big, weird, you know, bit here. That's the shadow as well, you know, for Bitcoin especially. I'm going to go to a chart without a lot of crazy lines. 26th of April, you are looking about here, okay? This big, so it hates it. Bitcoin just hates Mercury retrograde shadow, but it's when everything starts going crazy. The 10th, the day crypto sort of started to fall apart, is our high power, that red day. That's always the day things go bonkers. It's going to go to the 2nd of June for the markets, but you do need to watch to the 18th for crypto. Just putting that out there with all the stuff that I've given you in the dates. There is a risk scenario that, because in before crypto has fallen badly in this end, maybe it's fallen enough in the beginning. But certainly that July is a clear path, and then into that mid-August you do have to watch crypto again, okay, from the 20th. So I want to point out everything, and then we come into our September Mercury retrograde again, 10th of September. All these dates are coming up, and so this gives us a plan to work with. It will go into October. November I don't like, and December we have another Mercury retrograde. So that just shows me it's just easier. Make hay while the sun shines. Not giving financial advice, but we would hope a big lift is coming. Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus is the saving grace, and even just Venus in Uranus and getting out of these kind of critical degrees, changing from this sort of Pisces to Aries energy. That will also come later in the year, but I really believe the beginning bit is the kind of big bit because it changes the energy. We will have experienced that energy now. Putting it out there, that's coming again 12th of December in Mercury retrograde. So, you know, I'm not saying there won't be a Santarelli, you've got to take all, but if the Biden thing comes, that gets super complicated too. Look, I'm not saying it's him, I have not done enough work into it. And then we hit that sort of zero Aries point again just before Christmas, you know, so I don't know. And actually we even pick up the eclipses. Now, I just want to bring one more date into the fray, okay? While I'm saying it's okay, there is just one more date we've got to watch because we will never hear the end of it if we don't point it out. What is going to happen is that we can pick up the eclipse. Sorry, I'm looking at it and I can't see where it is. Let me just quickly whiz through. Okay, here we go here. We do run a little risk at the end of July, okay? We are getting the eclipse degree activated, Saturn, Pluto. If you watched my forecast 2022, this was the eclipse that has smashed the markets. This was the crash pattern. This is another version of it. I'm not saying we crash here. We do need to watch the days around the 20th of July. Neptune, Mars, it's a yucky, see, I don't like them together. It's that fire water kind of thing, you know? So there could be just a little bit of stuff, okay? And Pluto is opposite the sun on the same day, square moon. I don't even know, I haven't looked at that, I don't really use the moon and stuff like that. But, you know, and we have Uranus semi-square Jupiter. So I do think there is some caution for July. Venus is also out of Taurus, okay? So there is a bit of a blip as well. So let's hope there's a nice big lift through those degrees on the Dow, the Venus in Taurus, the whole just Taurus, you know, the Taurus loves money kind of thing, you know. Uranus has not gone retrograde too, by the way. It's going to go retrograde. Again, we also got to remember we watch this Mars conjunct Uranus because that's also a worry thing coming into this August. I did say in my crypto video I liked August. I'm going to pull that back a little bit and say, you know, don't know. So there just could be, and then we're coming into this Saturn square Uranus here, okay? So that is my best ability to try and make usually I would not do this, but when things are tough, I think it's time to come out and sort of give what we can as astrologers. Mercury retrograde, caveat emptor again, all the best laid plans can go a little south. So that is my thoughts on it. Let's hope there's a big lift, and if the numbers get there, please take them or put a stop. Stops are your best friend in trading. I know crypto says we can't use a stop. Well, guess what? Jupiter in Aries is slapping you on the face and going, snap out of that, it's time to start. There's a way to use astrology, okay? Hope that helps anyone. Sorry if it doesn't come to plan. That's just what I'm looking at. Bye.